Good morning, dolls, and welcome to Little Gretchen's workshop. So this is another one of those videos that I wasn't going to share because I really wasn't sure what it was going to turn out to be because I was actually just playing around. So more than anything, I guess this video is to show you what can happen if you just allow yourself to play. So I had this beautiful tapestry fabric that I've loved since the day I got it, and I had some ideas about what I wanted to do with it, but I didn't want to make my traditional binder clip bags, but I still wanted to make some carpet shaped bags. So I was playing around with a way to assemble them. Now keep in mind I don't have a pattern or anything, and for whatever reason I really wanted to use that little box. I thought it would be cute because I saw one time a luggage that kind of had a wooden box on the bottom, and that was more or less my original inspiration that got me to the table. But I kept playing around with the fabric. I really loved the pattern. I love the texture of it. So I cut a total of 4 pieces. So I made 2 narrow triangles and then 2 wider rectangular pieces to give kind of a pouchy type shape. Now I left the bottom open because my original thought or inspiration was for the bottom to be wooden, or at least something other than just the fabric. So in this frame, I'm playing around with the concept of how I'll create a closure. Now this is going to be a faux closure. These bags are not actually going to open and close, but I want them to look like they will. And while I was playing, I realized this will be a great opportunity to use up some of my scraps. So I decided to use a jumbo craft stick to be the bottom or the base of the bag. So among my scraps, I found a piece that would be a nice size for the base, and I'm just trimming off the rounded piece with my miter shears. So here you see me adding a little bit of 3-in-1 all around the perimeter of the little piece of the jumbo craft stick that I just cut the rounded piece off of. And then I took it and tucked it inside the base of the little pouch that I created with the 4 pieces of tapestry fabric. Now after I got it inside the base, I started to kind of fold over that really thin edge or a really thin hem to encircle it or encase the piece of wood to start to create the base. And because I used an ample amount of glue, I was able to kind of mush it out, and it gave the little pouch or fabric something to hold on to start to create a little bit of structure to give it the shape that I wanted for my little bag. So I allowed it to dry for a little while to make sure that base was solid. Now, when you're working with something like this, I would advise you to really pay attention to how you cut your pieces because there may be parts of the pattern that you prefer, so you want those to be center stage. So in this clip, I'm adding watered down glue along the edges of my bag to stop the fabric from fraying. And it's really going to reinforce the firmness and the strength of the bag, which will make it easier for me to decorate and handle it while I'm working. Now dolls, this is edited video, so I sped it up a little bit so this part wouldn't take so long, but I did take time to make sure I covered all of those edges to ensure that the fraying stopped. Now here I added clamps to encourage it to maintain its shape while it dries. Now you can use almost any type of clip to hold it in place. I don't know where that clip came from, but I generally use tiny clothespins. So dolls, if you've been following me a while, you know I have a tendency that if I do a thing, I've got to do it again and again. So I went on to make a couple more bags to kind of perfect my technique and see what other changes or alterations I could make to improve on my design or perfect it. So you can see in this frame, I'm doing the exact same thing, adding the glue and then tucking it in the bottom of the little pouch to secure the wooden piece to create the base of the bag. And I'm really glad I saved this part of the footage because you can see it a little bit clearer what I was doing, and this piece came out a little bit neater than my original one. But dolls, that's why you have to just go ahead and keep doing it, keep trying it. Usually your first iteration is not your best one, but do it again and again and again and again. And I want you dolls to give yourself some grace. Don't be hard on yourself or be discouraged because things don't come out perfect the first time. Generally speaking, anytime you see someone do something amazing, they've done it more than once. And if they did do it amazing the first time, don't compare yourself to them because their story is not your story. Take your time, play with it, have fun until you come up with something that you're happy with. And as you go along with your creation journey, I want to encourage you not to get rid of your early pieces because they help you see your progress. Now, I mentioned a little bit earlier that I was using 3-in-1, and that's 3-in-1 beacons because it catches really fast, which really made it easy to attach the soft fabric pieces together. Now, here in this frame, I'm just looking at it, looking at the shape of it, and just thinking about what I want to do. Now, although it's empty, I didn't put anything in it, and it's going to be closed where you can't open it. I'm thinking about what I can put in it to fill it out a little bit and make it look as though it's actually a packed bag. But it would be best practice to allow it to completely dry before you attempt to stuff it. Now, you can use fabric or cotton or even potpourri, but resist the urge to overstuff it. So yeah, I'm definitely going to have to do this project again because clearly some of the footage was lost. But here I'm adding glue to the top so I can add what I'm going to use to create the closure. And you can kind of see from this angle, I've already closed up the bottom and sealed it. It's finished at the bottom. And that's actually brown paper bag coated with Mod Podge and acrylic paint. Now, after I'd added an ample amount of glue, I took some really thin coffee stir sticks that had been previously stained for another project, and I laid them right into the glue. Now, for this bag, I put one on each side. And to ensure that it stayed closed and everything dried nice and secure, I used my tiny clothespins to hold it all in place. So while that one was drying, I went on to work on the other one, but this time I put the coffee stir stick across the top of the glue. Because the placement of the pattern was slightly different, I felt like I would give it a different type of closure as well. Now I'm going to just show you a little bit about the way it's laying. It's laying nice and flat. I just want it to be secure because I'm going to add more sticks around the side. And this is another one that I made that's very similar. Now, dolls, I'm only showing you a couple of the ones that I went through the process because you absolutely know I did way more than 2 or 3 because I always kind of go off the rails when I get excited about an idea. I'm really glad I had this part of the frame where I showed that I trimmed off the part after the glue was dry to remove the fray. And when you do that, you want to have some really good sharp scissors so your lines will be nice and clean. And again, I went on to create more and more of the bags because at this point, I was having so much fun, I couldn't stop. So I went one after another, after another, after another, and this is what I ended up with. So here are my little bundle of bags. I ended up using, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, brown paper bag as my leather. And I just coated the brown paper bag and added different colors to it to simulate leather. And it was a lot more convenient to work with than actual leather and way more inexpensive. And I had some little tiny buckles that my daughter had bought me, and I was using them as straps on the tiny bags. And I just, like I said, want to encourage you, dolls, to allow yourself some time to just play around with different ideas and concepts. And the really amazing thing about this project is that when you use different fabrics, you get totally different effects. And I'm really tickled about the way these turned out. Now you can see I used little studs, and those are just nail art studs that I used as my rivets on my handles and the buckles. Now the actual straps on that are leather. And part of the reason that I started using the brown paper bag is because I ran out of the leather. Now, after I was done adding straps and nail art to this one, I went on to create a different type of straps for another bag. I wanted this one to have a bigger buckle strap on it with more studs. Now, this is still another one of the little brown paper bag pieces that I'm using as my leather as a closure, but I wanted this one to be a little bit more decorative, to be a little bit more ornate. Or fancy. So little by little, I placed my glue where I wanted my nail art pieces to be. And this is what I came up with. And I really like the way that looks. It's really a lot different. It looks like a buckle or a clasp. And now I'm going back to add a couple straps to hold it all together. And then I decided I wanted to add straps with buckles to this one, but I had run out and I had to go make some more. But when I was all done, this is my final result. Now, dolls, if you enjoyed this video today and want to see more content like this, go ahead and subscribe. And always look for me on Mondays after 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And until next time, I'm looking forward to seeing you right here on Little Gretchen's Workshop. Bye-bye now, dolls.